Hello, YouTube. Hi, YouTube, or wherever you're watching from. If we're currently live, you're probably watching from YouTube. But if we're not, you are watching either from Instagram TV or Facebook. In any case, hello, I am Kennedy. Kennedy Castillo, but around here, I'm just Kennedy C. This is my new show, Quarantine Chats with Kennedy. I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit more about what the show is. We'll get started with this first episode. This is my first time live streaming on YouTube, so I don't know if anyone is even going to be watching this. I have no idea what's happening. We're just going to try to roll with it. Obviously, I'll get better with this as the week goes by. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. First off, let me introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Kennedy C, Kennedy Castillo, whatever. You may know me from this YouTube channel. I post videos every week, pretty much. This week I'm not going to do any of my regular normal YouTube videos. I'm going to be doing this show instead. But I do post videos on YouTube. I host a podcast. I have a blog. You can find me pretty much all over the internet if you try hard enough. Not even that hard, actually. And yeah. I am here doing this show. I'll talk to you more at the end of the show, specifically where you can find me. But for now, let's jump into this episode. Let me just see back there. I'm going to check with my crew here to see if we are good to go on the live. Okay. There might be technical difficulties. I'm gonna check this out on my own phone. I want to make sure that everybody is able to see this. Like I said, luckily I'm getting a good back here. So I'm getting a thumbs up. Okay, I am live. I can see right there that I am live. So, perfect. Sound working? Everything good back there? Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure everyone can hear me, can see me. Perfect. This is great. And like I said, again, friendly reminder, and I'll remind you again for like a third time at the end of the episode, that this will be going up on my Facebook page, Kennedy C Media, and on my Instagram TV on @KennedyC_blog. Like I said, this is all new to me. It's just something I'm trying out. So please give me some time once this live has ended, once the show is over, to actually upload those. And I will save them here on YouTube as well. Alright, so what this show is essentially we are all stuck in quarantine right now, self-quarantine for the most part, and social distancing. We just got news yesterday that social distancing in the United States is going to be extended until April 30th, I think, or 31st, the last day of April, whatever that is. Actually, let me see if I can... If any of you guys are commenting, I don't even know if anyone's watching, but let me get that up while I continue explaining the show. So I wanted to do something, something special, something you guys could watch while, okay, cool. I have the chat here so I can see if anyone comments anything. But anyway, I wanted to see what exactly, if there's anything I could talk about. I want to make this quarantine process as easy as possible for everybody. I know it's difficult to be stuck at home, and I want to be able to be a little bit of positivity and entertainment and anything else that I can be. So I want to start off today's episode, first of all, by saying thank you to everybody, nurses, doctors, any healthcare professionals that have been working to treat patients with COVID-19. And just thank you so much for your service. It is a service, and I really appreciate you. I also want to say that if you can make any donations, there's so many great organizations right now that are raising money during this crisis. So I will be providing some resources later on in the week, but you can always research on your own and donate to wherever you find suitable. Also, if I'm looking down, I have my notes here for the show, so excuse me. But anyway, today's episode is going to be adjusting to online life and kind of the digital universe. I know, and by the way, each episode will be something different. And let me just go ahead and tell you what I have planned for the week. So, like, tomorrow is going to be about staying connected with friends and family during quarantine. On Wednesday, we'll be talking about finding reliable information about COVID-19. On Thursday, if I can change my page here, we'll be talking about being financially conscious during this pandemic. And on Friday, we will talk about staying positive during this time of crisis. So that's what's happening this week. But like I said, today's episode is about adjusting to online life. So I understand that amidst all of this, a lot of life has been transitioned from the real world to the digital world, which is somewhat difficult, I understand. So I want to kind of talk to you about some tips and how to ease that. Personally, for me, I have taken online classes before, and now my entire school curriculum is online. The same for my sister. Her entire school is online. I think pretty much everybody right now. And I know a lot of other things are online as well. Our dance classes, we both dance, so all of that has moved online. So I'm going to first talk about the importance of online life and understanding technology during this time. And most of all, what is important about online life right now is that we need to stay home and we need to stop this virus from spreading. We need to flatten the curve. So online life there's some things that you don't want to give up or you can't give up, such as school. So it's very important to transition into this online life. And I want to acknowledge that I do understand that technology is not accessible to everybody, and that's difficult. And of course, in those kind of circumstances, you need to adjust and make the proper adjustments for that. So that would be talking to a professor, talking to whoever. But are we still online? Okay, sorry, we had a little issue there. Good thing I'm watching from my phone to make sure everything's going well. But anyway, but this is specifically targeted towards those of us who do have the technology, but maybe need a little extra push and tips on how to adjust to this new online life, which is becoming our normal, at least for another month, it seems. So first off, for online school, I have a few tips. This is specifically for people in high school or in college, or just people with online schooling, middle school, wherever, elementary, just taking school specifically, and then we'll talk about work and other things like that. So the most important thing is to get dressed like you normally would for school. I know that seems a bit silly, or maybe you're thinking it's just online school, why do I have to get ready? But the truth is, it'll get you more in the mindset, and it'll just get you feeling more ready for learning and for school as you would when you get dressed in the morning. The next tip is to have a school space set up specifically for doing your work. So for me in my house, we've already set up this school space, and that's really helpful because it provides you with just a space where you feel almost like a classroom sense in a way. I mean, obviously it's not going to be exactly the same, but you just feel more connected to learning and to school, and it's just really helpful in that way. My next tip would be set calendars and reminders so you know for yourself what you have to do. It's going to be very unique to each person, but generally for the most part, setting calendars and reminders is the way to go. You can do this digitally, whether that be on your computer. There's a lot of Google Alerts and stuff like that. This can be on your phone. You can set, all the different iPhone reminders or whatever phone you have. Or you can, if you're really just classic planners and stuff like that, then you can definitely do that as well. But these calendars and reminders will help you. You're not in a classroom, you're not in front of a teacher where they're constantly reminding you, hey, don't forget this, don't forget that. So this is actually going to help you to kind of better stay organized and on top of what you need to have turned in. And then I have two more tips really. Treat online school like you treat regular school. So don't get into this mindset of, oh, it's just online school, it's not the same thing or anything like that, because truthfully, it is the same thing. Obviously, the environment is different and it takes a little bit more self-motivation and kind of pushing yourself, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. You have to learn, you have to turn stuff in, and that's that. And also, my last tip is always leave extra time in case of technical difficulties. I know for a lot of us are using Zoom. Sometimes there can be technical difficulties there. You have to have the right code or the right link, or you can't get in. So always allow yourself times for those like little technical difficulties. You don't want to end up being 20 minutes late to class because of a technical difficulty. Instead, be 20 minutes early and then you get in on time despite the technical difficulty. So I'm going to tease a little bit of Tuesday's episode, but I just want to mention staying connected to friends and the importance of that, and family as well. And that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. But FaceTime is a great tool as well. Again, we'll go more in depth about that tomorrow, but staying connected is another way that you really need to adjust to this new digital norm. Obviously, you can't just stop talking to people even because you can't see them in person. So FaceTime and stuff like that is a great way to stay connected, which again, we will be talking about that more in depth tomorrow. And then technology also, you have work. A lot of people, unfortunately, have been losing their jobs, and my heart goes out to you in these times. I know this is something very serious, and it's a good thing that we are staying inside and staying sheltering in place, but at the same time, I understand the difficulties at this time. But if you are someone who's working remotely, understand that Zoom is a great tool for that. And again, I think all my tips apply pretty much for both work and school. Just treat it the same. Yes, it's this weird digital technological life that you're living, but at the same time, it's not that different. It's the same thing, just unfortunately, you're not physically present like you would normally be. Technology can also be used as a source of entertainment, and during these times, use it as a positive source of entertainment. You don't have to use it negatively. So things like this, YouTube and these conversations, they're more serious, but you can also look for more fun videos, and I have a lot of fun videos, and I'm not trying to promote myself, but if you wanted to watch my videos, you totally could, or any other fun YouTuber that makes you happy, or YouTube videos that make you smile. TikTok is another great one that I have been obsessed with lately, and I hated TikTok a while ago, but my sister really got me into TikTok. So TikTok she's waving at me from behind the camera. So TikTok really is a great fun thing that you can do to get your mind off of things, and for the most part, you're not going to be seeing these negative, just really toxic things like you would on other forms of social media. And then other ways technology can be used as a source of entertainment. We've got video games. I am very old school, and I know some of you are laughing at me. We were like, that's not old school, but I still play the Wii. And it's also a great way to move around because that is one of the video games where you're not just sitting there with a controller. You can actually get up and move. But any form of video game can be fun and a great source of entertainment. And I guess we've all always wanted school to be canceled so we can play video games at some point in our life. So now is your perfect opportunity for that. Streaming services are very much the obvious one, but honestly, I think streaming services are saving some of us during this time. Disney Plus is my favorite, my number one. Netflix, right up there with Disney Plus. Hulu's great. Prime Video's alright. Keep in mind all the extra charges, but that's not what we're here to talk about. And Spotify, Apple Music, any kind of music platforms are great as well, a great source of entertainment. There's just ways to stay entertained despite, having to adjust to technology. So, also, I want to talk about technology for other ways. So online classes are a great thing. No matter who you are, I'm sure there's an online class for you. Now, hopefully, your activity is something that you can do from your house. Personally, for me, it's dance. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to just clear some space in my living room, a big, huge space, to dance and to take these online live stream classes that my studio has been doing. But you can find all sorts of classes, whether that be for music, for some kind of instrument, maybe another activity as well. So there's lots of different options out there, and technology is great in that way to where you can still stay doing something you enjoy and learning things that you would normally learn even despite not being able to physically do these things. Let me see. I also want to talk, so payments online, you can avoid going to the banks or anywhere where you would normally have to do to pay for things. do that. Make your payments online. Business meetings via Zoom or classes via Zoom are a great thing as well, which I really already touched on. And then also, you want to stay out of the store as much as possible. Now, it's important to purchase necessities, and all of that is very important. But if you can online shop, I know, be wary of where you're shopping from, but also understand that generally speaking, the virus will be killed due to the heat when packages are being transported and whatnot, as long as you're safe and you wash your hands and use gloves when you're opening stuff and Lysol and all that kind of good things, you should be fine. So online shopping is the way to go if you can afford to wait 2 days for Amazon. Actually, I think it's a little bit longer right now because of all of this, but if you can afford to wait, don't go in person to the grocery store. That was kind of all I wanted to talk about today in terms of adjusting to online life. I do want to mention, and this is something I forgot to mention earlier, I have 2 guests, maybe 3 guests this week that'll be joining me for the show. So it's not just going to be me sitting here boring you to death. I have another setup, actually, where I'll be sitting with my guests. And don't worry, we're still social distancing. These are people who live in my house, and one guest might join us via FaceTime, so that'll be fun. I apologize for the few little technical difficulties today. I was trying to get adjusted to this whole YouTube live thing. I think I've got the hang of it. Now let's hope I'm able to put this onto Facebook and Instagram TV, and I will really be proud of myself. I did mention that I would tell you guys where you could find me online. So obviously this YouTube channel, Kennedy Castile. This week I'm using it for quarantine chats. Maybe I'll upload a few videos as well. But usually there's fun videos, and you can go back and watch all my previous videos. You can find me on my blog, which is kennedycblog.com. I write about all sorts of great things there, so you can definitely check that out. You can find me on anchor.fm/KennedyC, and that is my podcast, Simply Kennedy. I host that every week on Thursdays, and actually this week's quarantine chat will also be available as an episode of my podcast on Thursday, but just the audio, not the video portion. Where else can you find me? Oh, and then my podcast is available on a ton of other platforms as well, which you can find on that Anchor link. But it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, lots of great places. You can find my digital art portfolio, kennedycdigitalart.com. I accept commissions. I would love to draw something for you guys. I have a Patreon if you'd like to just make a small donation. I know right now times are tough, so obviously I recommend you make donations to a charity or a good organization first. But after that, if you still have money to spare, patreon.com/KennedyCmedia is the place where you can help me out. I'm a small content creator, so I do appreciate that. Where else can you find me? I'm trying to think. I know there's more. Kennedy C Media Facebook page. You might be watching on there right now if I figured out how to upload this. And then at KennedyC_blog on Instagram, which again, you might be watching on IGTV right now if I figured that out. But those are all the wonderful places where you can find me. Again, this show will go live every day of this week, Monday through Friday. Well, now Tuesday through Friday at 3:30 Central Time. You can set a reminder on YouTube. And what else? I think that's everything. So thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow's episode is going to be about staying connected to friends and family during this time. I've got lots of great episodes planned, some special guests, some fun things. I wanted to really create this show, like I said, as a way for you guys to stay entertained, to have this little bit of positivity and just these chats that you can watch. So thank you for tuning in, and I will be back tomorrow, 3:30 Central Time. Don't miss it.